What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Friday out there, everyone, everywhere. To those who celebrate, it's the daily Jeromes live stream, 9 a.m. Central Time on Fridays. Of course, 11 a.m. Central Time on Monday through Thursdays. Thank you very much for coming along and making us part of your day. Woo! Pretty excited. Taking the daughter fishing again. So we took the live stream off Wednesday, and we went, and we got a couple of like really tiny panfish, which we threw back, but she's been bugging me for like the last 2 days, and now we're just gonna go again. So maybe she's hooked, which would be pretty damn awesome. Live stream, you guys are the best. Do a couple shout outs here in a hot second, as well as so. First line in the description of the live stream is the link to our other channel, Football News Today, some macro NFL topics. We didn't want to inundate the channel, the Vikings channel, with some macro NFL talkers, so we just started a second channel, almost up to 2K subs. Go check us out. Go subscribe over there. Go help us out. Yeah, the last couple of videos were about the Washington scandal, which not great. Not ideal. So our thoughts are over there. Go check that out. Also, so the add-on question we put out there, which actor has the highest batting average? Tom Cruise, Mel Gibson, Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks. Now, some people take this literally as like, how will the batting average be? What will the slugging percentage be against Randy Johnson? Now, basically, what is the percentage of hit movies versus total movies in general, right? So I feel like Denzel, 853 votes. So we got Denzel's pretty high up there. Tom Hanks. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Tom Cruise movie except for The Mummy. I think that he picks his scripts really well, as well as we talked about yesterday or 2 days ago. Mel Gibson is low-key really, really good in pretty much everything that he does. Not great off camera, but all right. But Denzel. So Denzel, I agree to a degree, and Denzel is one of my favorite actors of all time. But I will say that, all right, so Denzel definitely went through his, through a bit of a, this is actually a good setup, a bit of a Liam Neeson, I'm just going to hammer some checks and do some action movies type era. Now, I'm not talking about, Training Day. I'm not talking about The Equalizer. Those are great movies. Like him and Antoine Fuqua together, just amazing. But Out of Time, certainly count that one. Deja Vu, yes. Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. Unstoppable, the one with the train. Remember that one? Book of Eli, yes. Two Guns. Two Guns, if you want just like stupid funny, that's a good one. But yeah, but there's about 6 or 7 movies where just paint by numbers, whatever, yawn action movies that Denzel was just clearly just hammering checks. But yeah, some of the Denzel's got some really damn good movies. Like there isn't a single Denzel movie where I'm just like I'm out. Like even some of the older ones, Glory may be up there with one of the best war movies of all time. Crimson Tide is phenomenal. Him and Gene Hackman. Fallen. Fallen's low-key really, really good. He Got Game, maybe one of my favorite sports movies ever. The Siege. Now, The Siege, obviously it was before 9/11, so there are some storylines in The Siege. It's Bruce Willis and, God, what's her name? Warren Beatty's wife. I forget her name, but there's some things with like terrorists with suspension of American rights and liberties that really just gets into that. It's really good. Hurricane's phenomenal. Remember the Titans might be up there with one of the best football movies there is. John Q, I think, is low-key good. Training Day, of course, is one of the greatest movies of all time. American Gangster was fine. I feel like it didn't live up to the potential with the source material, as well as you had Russell Crowe and Denzel Washington. Flight's good for like the opening scene. I mean that flight, the flight scene when he lands the airplane when he has turned upside down. I mean that was pretty damn good. And then he's gonna be in Macbeth. Magnificent Seven was okay. Yeah, but yeah, Denzel wins right there. Hell, let's do one more. So Tom Hanks. Yeah, I feel like Tom Hanks Has Tom Hanks ever made a bad movie? Well, we need to preface this. Have actors, actresses made a bad movie since they got FU money, right? Because early on in your career, you do have to sort of take whatever you can get. But once you get to the point where you have financial independence and you can sort of write your own ticket, like how actually Bridge of Spies was not great. I'll say that. Not like I'm a big war movie fan. I'm a big Tom Hanks fan. Bridge of Spies was boring as shit. It was. So I take that back. All right, so let's go. All right, so when he started winning Oscars. So yeah, you could say The Burbs, big classic, Joe versus Volcano, and Turner and Hooch, man. But then once he started getting into the '90s, when Sleepless in Seattle was all-time great rom-com. Philadelphia. Did he win an Oscar for Philadelphia? He might have. League of Their Own, maybe one of my favorite baseball movies. Forrest Gump, obviously a classic. Same thing with Apollo 13. The Toy Story series is phenomenal. Saving Private Ryan is the best war movie in history. Green Mile, I think, was good. Castaway was really good. Road to Perdition is underrated. Also, he had a cameo on Band of Brothers. I don't remember that one. Lady Killer is actually pretty damn funny. That gets lost in the shuffle. Terminal, Da Vinci Code. You could say that the Da Vinci Code was his worst movie in the last 20 years. Pretty easy. The Angels, Demon Jam. That's a problem if you go by filmography. You get all these like 2-bit blah blah blah. I know that a lot of people liked Cloud Atlas. I was kind of out of it. Captain Phillips is good. Saving Mr. Banks is good. I don't remember what Ithaca was. The Circle was eh. All right, so maybe that was his last miss. Sully was good. Well, yeah, the entire trilogy of that movie was moronic. I didn't see Hologram for a King. The Post was really like masturbatory, self-aggrandizing. What do you expect about a movie about the media? I haven't seen Mr. Rogers. Greyhound looks good. I'm in on Greyhound. There's a movie that I missed in here. Really doesn't matter. All right, so yeah, that's the question. We'll get into it. There you go. First up, Blake Kettler. What is the food that everyone loves that you just don't like? For me, it's spaghetti. I don't know why. Also, Tom Hanks was in Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, and Saving Private Ryan in like a 5-year period. So this is my pick. Yeah, that's like a Sandy Koufax-esque run for Tom Hanks there. Food that everyone loves that I just don't like. I guess you could say like everyone creams in their jeans over Chipotle. I just think it's sort of whatever. I'm not a massive burrito fan to begin with. Like burritos are good, don't get me wrong, and like every once in a while it definitely hits the spot. But I don't know, like I understand like Chipotle is popular just because there's one on every street corner. But I think Qdoba's better. Like some mom and pop burrito shops obviously are gonna be better. So Luke K. Denzel's just a bad man, a legend in movies. Actually, this is going to be interesting. Like, who's going to go down as the GOAT actor? You could make a good case for Denzel. You really could. Question, what's the best snack that goes along with beer? So, I think I mentioned on here before. So, I'm not a big drinking while eating type of person. Like, I'm much more of a separation of church and state. So everyone, people talk about like wine pairings with food. People talk about beer and pizza, which ain't mad at you at all. But I don't know, for some reason, I just that's idiosyncrasy of mine. But snacks is certainly different with beer. So that's why I'm taking pizza out of the running for food accompanying with beer. Oh, he has snack anyway, but I'm just laying the groundwork where I'm coming from. God, I mean, you can't really go wrong with bar popcorn, where it's made in that greasy ass popcorn machine that hasn't been washed since like 1992, and they got the fake ass neon orange popcorn seasoning where you could just use salt, but they don't. And then they got they stopped using peanut oil because it was $1 more expensive, so they just use vegetable oil. They got the giant Costco jug of vegetable oil just sitting on the side. Everyone's putting their greasy hands in there. Like, that's where the Rona started, by the way. Is like a dirty ass bar popcorn machine in like Baraboo. That's what happened, but it's so good. It really is good. I think that's probably the classic they gotta go with. Preacher Paul, hauling it for all y'all. Where and how do you figure out these random and sometimes goofy questions? Also, any news on the stainless steel mug? And also loving the other show as well. TBD on the mug. Producer Allie is working on it. Where do you figure out these random, sometimes goofy questions? I don't know. We all have a gift. This is mine. Also, the Jerome community is really good at throwing some of these very thought-provoking but also random-ass questions. It's really good. All right, next up is Westworld. Phil Lodeholt, despite being an inch taller, Brian O'Neill has over 50 pounds. Phil Lodeholt, by the way, don't believe that listed weight. Phil Lodeholt was probably 400 pounds if he was announced at certain points in his career. But, man, he was good. Phil Lodeholt. Just in terms of what you want in a rogue rating right tackle who he certainly didn't sacrifice much in movement skills. Phil Lodeholt was a dude. He just was, man. God, he was good. Yeah, just big Phil Lodeholt. That was the Vikings' first loss of the year, by the way, at Pittsburgh. That was the game where Adrian trucked Willie Gay. And then also, I think Favre threw interception to end the game, which foreshadowing, of course. Phil Lodeholt was good. Next up is Lawrence Hammond. Thoughts on the media hyping up the bombshell report about Snyder and Washington. Also, do you think any Vikings players were among the group of NFL players confirmed to have COVID? I have no idea about COVID. But so we set our piece about the Washington situation on the other channel. Go check that out when you have a sec. But overall, it's just really sad. It's just really sad what those women had to go through. And I'm glad that things like toxic cultures like Washington are being brought to the forefront, which makes it so lucky that we do have an organization like the Vikings who do have do put a high premium on character. From top to bottom, from players to coaches to executives to ownership, which is great. But yeah, Washington is rotten to the core. So it's good that Ron Rivera is in there. It's good that they're going to have an investigation of the entire organization. And yeah, Rivera just needs a clean house. Like those two scouting jabronis and also the radio guy, that if that's just the beginning, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. But also I do. It was, God, what's the word? Not annoying. It's not disappointing. It's somewhere in that mix, though, of how a lot of the national media people as well as DC area media people were just hyping this up for a week. And they hyped it up so much that it actually was a disservice to the women in the story, because I feel like once the story broke on Thursday, a lot of people were just like, oh, that's it. And it's just, it shouldn't be that way. Like it is a big time bombshell story, but the fact that guys like Jason Lock and Four were just like, oh, all week, oh, it's annoying. But yeah, it basically turned the story into like a TMZ like gossip rag. Well, not even TMZ, because TMZ, you can say a lot of things about TMZ. Them being wrong on facts and not being buttoned up is not one of them. But this is like the like those gossip rags that you get at the grocery store checkout line. They're somehow still in business. Yeah, it's like one of those spots. It's gross. Just really, really gross. Next up, Oakview. Will this be the breakout year for Mike Hughes? Since he has some competition now, Dantzler. Also, congrats on your 1 million viewed video on the other channel. Yeah, we have a video about NFL training camp fights on the other channel. So we put it out. I didn't think it was a good fit for this channel, so we put it out on the other channel, and then I forgot about it, and then it got 1 million views, which is funny. But a breakout year for Mike Hughes. Yeah, I think that he comes in as the perceived cornerback one. We did the video on him. We got word that he is fully healthy, fully ready to go. So we're happy about as I just burp. So yeah, we're just obviously just happy about that. I think he could. I think he could start panning out some of that potential that they saw in him as the number 30 overall pick, 2018. Kyle Rippentrop. I just keep burping. It's a very burpy day. Apologies. Kyle Rippentrop. How did we scoop Michael Pierce on a relatively cheap deal in the second wave of free agency? I thought he was a great player in Baltimore. Madden seems to agree. Well, the thing is, it's there isn't a premium on 2-down nose tackles unless you're Dave Gettleman and then you take Dexter Lawrence in the first round. But it's it is one of those spots where it's the 2-down nose tackle is like paying a running back. Just doesn't really happen. Plus, you can get your run stuffers in the draft. But Michael Pierce, I think that his role is going to expand. I think you will see him as more of a 3-down player. I think he does have a little bit more wiggle to the jiggle when it comes to pass rushing. I think he can get after it because I think Michael Pierce are going to use him a lot like early Vikings career Linval Joseph, which is going to be great to see. Next up, Patrick Harms. Also, live chat, let us know where you're watching from. We'll give a couple shout outs. Patrick Harms. I voted for Hanks because he's played so many different characters. Yeah, Tom Hanks does have range. He's not like So we have this thing we call Vince Vaughn syndrome, where the actor just plays the same character in every movie. Like Vince Vaughn is up there. Nicolas Cage is up there to a degree. I mean, Con Air was just Nicolas Cage with a horrible Southern accent. I'm Cameron Poe. Go take over this plane. Pulford Skull. Name your favorite movies with all these actors. Denzel is my favorite. For me, it's Tom Hanks, Few Good Men, Mel Gibson, Braveheart, Denzel, Remember the Titans, Tom Hanks, Saving Private Ryan, hands down. All right, so for me, Tom Hanks, besides Saving Private Ryan, which goes without saying, might be a league of their own. Might be Forrest Gump. Like, Forrest Gump is underrated in terms of the eminently rewatchable category. Forrest Gump's always good. Denzel. Training Day is certainly up there. Can't really say Glory. I mean, he was a supporting role. Did he win as a Best Supporting Actor? I think he did for Glory. But was it like a Denzel movie? Yeah, either Training Day or He Got Game. Mel Gibson. I mean, Braveheart's the easy answer. The Patriot is up there for me too. I think The Patriot's really, really good. Also, there's this little, I think it was an indie movie called The Beaver. Yeah, Mel Gibson. I mean, it seems like a dumb premise, but it's actually a really good movie. And I think Mel Gibson does a phenomenal job in that one. Best Tom Cruise movie. There's a lot of them. Vanilla Sky. It might be Vanilla Sky. Oh, no. Who am I kidding? Last Samurai. Yeah, Last Samurai. So they're all like quasi-war movies. So what are you going to do? Homeboy. I was watching First Take yesterday. Why? And they were talking about the top 3 running backs. Of course, they said Barkley, Zeke, and McCaffrey. But when Dalvin's name got brought up, LaShawn said Dalvin's not even top 5. Is there any Vikings that isn't overlooked by a sports analyst? And you would think that LaShawn McCoy would actually like understand being a quality NFL running back, but he doesn't. No, his time is set, and the fact that he doesn't see that Dalvin Cook is a better version of him in his prime. Sad. Hey, but at least he's a Super Bowl champion, even though he's a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl. How'd that work out? Mobdul 99. If you could play any position for the Vikings right now, what would it be? I think he'd be a solid 3-tech. Could be a better guard than Elfline at least. Well, I mean, 3-tech would be the easy answer. Leverage, low man wins, especially being 5'8". But I could probably give Cutting a run for his money at long snapper. Could probably do that. Luke K. Top 5 pizza places in Minnesota. Sounds tough. It's really tough. So I'd say Twin Cities. Black Sheep Pizza for me is always up there. It's always high numero uno. Surly's really, really good. Not gonna lie. Like I don't know if if they're completely in house or if they contract that out a little bit. But Surly Pizza is really good. Mucci's Italian's good. Young Joni's really good. Actually, I wonder how many of these restaurants are going to close, which is really sad with the run. I just saw that 508 is closing, which is kind of sad. Zorba's, if you're going up north, there's just something about Lake Country and Zorba's, which is just like it just connects. As well as gotta give a shout out to my childhood. So Rushford, Minnesota, there's a place called the Creamery, and there's a place called Stumpy's. Phenomenal. And also any place where they serve Heggies. Right, man. Maybe you spent too much time in like dive bars, but if your dive bar has a dirty ass popcorn machine, has Heggies pizzas, as well as has pull tabs, that's a good bar. That's a good bar. All right, a couple shout outs. Let's see here. William Robertson, Skull from Madison, Alabama. What's going on? Purple Rain, Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. Blake Kettler, way up north in Hinckley, Minnesota. Well, not up north, but north from here. John Hoffa, Skull from Rochester, Minnesota. Med City. John Hardy's Barbecue. What's going on? There you go. Preacher Paul, late to the show, but he's in. Ethan Griffith, Skull from Maplewood, up to no good. Moving in 2 weeks, so I can be up to some good. There you go. John Johnson, Skull from Stewartville. What's going on? All right, you guys are the best. Taking out Friday in the best way possible. Next up is Jacob Worley. Bold prediction: Jerome Thielen will be on the coaching staff after he retires. Do you agree? And would he make a better wide receivers coach or draft scout? I never got the coaching vibe from Thielen. I don't know. I could see him just getting, staying really involved in the community, as well as working with his gyms, because I believe he has one in the South Metro down here in Lakeville. I think he's got one somewhere else. Just getting into like the training draft prep business. Could see that. I don't know. Just never really got coaching vibes from Thielen, though. Andrew Hansen, which rookie do you think will be a surprise starter this year, and which rookie do you see having the best shot being a superstar in the league in 2 to 3 years? Surprise starter? I guess James Lynch at 3-Tech. Would that be a surprise? I guess to a degree. Rookie have a chance of being a superstar in the league. Well, I think Gladney is going to be really good, but also I think the upside for Cameron Dantzler, just given his size and his tenacity as well as age, I think he certainly has a shot to be a superstar in this league. Tom Hanks just has a Joe Mauer feel to him. I think he would be a 350 average or better. Yeah, I feel like Tom Hanks, like he definitely has power to the gaps. Definitely hits the occasional home run. Actually, decent number of home runs, but also has a high batting average. God, so what would he be? Be the Ted Williams of acting? Smexy Rexy. Do you think the Vikings will cut Tajay Sharp if there are better wide receivers? Well, I could honestly see a spot where they carry 4 receivers. May sound weird, but yeah. But if Tajay is getting outperformed by, say, Alexander Hollins, who they like, BC's given. Dylan Mitchell, Courtney Davis, the UDFA out of Texas A&M. Davion Davis, it's possible. Pulford Skull. What would it take to get A.J. Green via trade? Specifically, the Vikings had to eat that contract. Well, they can't trade for him since they have Harris on the franchise tag. Do you think they would legit cut him? I think it's possible if they wanted to free up almost $18 million in cap. What would we have to cut some guys? I think you probably have to give Green 14-15 million per year. So maybe not have to cut, but definitely do some creative accounting. Do you think that you'd be a contributor role? Yeah, I mean, AJ Green is, even though he's injured, even though he's going to be 32, still AJ Green. Like, even if you get 12 games of 80% of AJ Green, you certainly would take that. Look, the video yesterday, got me Chris. Why take on the huge contract when they go sign Gordon or Ross or Gallup? I think Green is more reliable than Josh Gordon for a number of reasons. I don't think that Dallas is going to give away Gallup. And John Ross is intriguing. Hell, we have a video coming out this afternoon about potentially going after Dante Pettis, who was teammates with John Ross at Washington, and the quarterback was Jake Browning. Honestly, if they got John Ross for like a 7th-round pick and Dante Pettis for a 4th-round pick, and just threw him in the wide receiver room just to see what happened, I'd be down with that. Nick Doroff. Oh, by the yeah, Ross and Pettis would be, even though they drafted KJ Osborne, I think Ross and Pettis should be the kick and punt returners respectively. Nick Doroff, which Minnesota Viking has the best Tinder game? You know it's gonna be something. You know it's gonna be something just completely random, or someone completely random. Like it's gonna be, I don't know. It's gonna be like Brett Jones, just the Canadian, just like swiping all over the place. He's swiping like he's sweeping in curling. Yeah. Also, if you guys ever been curling, it's actually kind of fun. Preach Ball's up in Afton. We were just in Afton last weekend because we went to the Nature Center. It was good times. Eric Nelson, Skull from Ostigo. Blake Kettler. Who's the Kirby Puckett of actors? I don't know. Casey Affleck. All right, so best Tinder game. No, it's gonna be someone completely random. Like it's gonna be Sean Mannion. It's gonna be Sean Mannion, but in reality, I don't know. Mike Hughes, Holton Hill. I can see them being smooth. Or no, it's gonna be Chad Beebe because they're just so adorable. Ethan Griffith. At first, I thought your question was about which actors were playing baseball, but I don't think Hanks has ever really missed on a movie. Random question. Well, except for Angels and Demons, that was shit. That trilogy. Random question. What is your best guess for number of people you've had to block from the Purple for the Win channel? Thanks for blocking Tommy Chung live chat. So I think he might be the first one. I think he might be. I know that there's so in the comments, some people get caught up in the spam filter, and I don't always remember to check the spam filter, but I don't know. But in terms of live chat, yeah, he was the first one. Like, come say your piece. Don't be an a-hole. Don't spam the chat. You won't get blocked. Cedric Walker, Tom Cruise. He's a creep. But I hear he has an alliance with Adams. Oh, and virtually no strike zone. He's like 5'6". Aha. Actually, yeah. Someone said 4'6". I think Tom Cruise is like a short dude. Like a short dude. Westworld. Not really in regards to your question, but Russell Crowe is underrated. Yeah, Russell Crowe is pretty underrated. Although why'd they cast him in Les Miserables? Because they knew that he had to sing. Russell Crowe can't sing. We're shit. Why is depreciation on the income statement different than the depreciation on the balance sheet? I don't know. That's why I hire accountants. Luke K. Looks like it might be a shorter stream because of the comments. Can you Google Maps a place like Earth in South America that you want to visit? Let's see. Where's someplace we want to visit? Oh, Gettysburg. Hey. Gettysburg. Yeah, so I've never visited Gettysburg. That's definitely on the to-do list. Because the wife definitely wants to make a trip out east, like once the Rona's all done and whatnot. So Round Top, Little Round Top, Big Round Top, Seminary Ridge. I should just pick like a random ass Minnesota town. How many people do live in Gettysburg? It is a town of 7,600. Do they have a McDonald's? Like that's always the Lincoln Diner. F you. A Gary Owen Irish pub. That's strong. It's a nice tie-in. Tommy's Pizza. Tommy's Pizza is actually probably pretty good. Oh, they do have McDonald's. Boom, nailed it. Yeah, because what's the general population threshold for a McDonald's? It's about 5K. Now this one's a little bit different because obviously a tourist town, so McDonald's. Oh, they have 2 McDonald's. Sharpshooter. Oh, come on. Yeah, it is funny when like a tourist town fully leans in on the the reason why they're a tourist town. The hell is this? This is a quarry. Yeah. Oh, actually, let's go all the way up to Canada, or not Canada, America, but almost Russia. So there's this island. Oh, there it is. So there's this island in between Alaska and Russia called Diomede. Now, the town is on the small island, pointing towards Russia. It's just so weird. Like, isn't it just weird that the whole stupid Sarah Palin? I can see Russia from my house, but I mean, just look at how gorgeous this area is, man. Maybe not so much of this, but I've always wondered, like, small town living like this. So I grew up in a small town. Lived in the city, lived in the suburbs, done everything like that. But I was thinking, is like, man, wouldn't it be nice to just like completely disconnect? Like, because I'm guessing like they probably don't have 5G up here, which is probably why that their brains aren't scrambled yet. Conspiracy theories. But I mean, just getting away, like your day is like staying warm, catching some food, being good to your neighbors, not fighting with idiots on the internet, and just living life. I mean, it's pretty appealing. It does seem pretty appealing, doesn't it? So I'm not saying I'm ready to move to Diomede, which is I think they have a population of like 200, which is pretty big. Yeah, but man, so like I mentioned on here, like getting back into hunting, where I hunted a lot as a kid. Last year, deer season, started getting back into it, but it initially started as, hey, let's get some organic, red, delicious meat. Because even though I haven't hunted throughout most of my adult years, I always ate game, always ate venison, always ate elk, but just getting back in it. So been watching a lot of Steve Rinella Meat Eater, and there was an episode where they got attacked by well, they didn't get attacked, they got charged by a grizzly, which a Fognak Island, which I looked this up before. Where, man, if only I was better with maps. Yep, there it is. And so I wonder so this island and the entire island chain is only accessible by boat, plane, and boat. But I always do wonder too, is like getting away, just completely isolating yourself, getting the F out of Dodge, not caring. Yeah, because a lot of people do go up to Alaska because you don't need to file immigration or citizenship papers because it's a state. You can just get up there. And how many people are up in Alaska just hiding from their troubles? Maybe even hiding from the law. Like, what is this town like? Also, I don't think that there's Google Street View on this, but that would be sweet. All right, so what's here? This is not Gettysburg. Shut up. Yeah. All right, but that's it. I could disappear, and you will be the first to know. All right, so Kirk Cousins goal from Brainerd. What's going on? Tyler W. Towns with 1,800 at McDonald's. If they're on the highway or if they're in a high traffic area, then yeah, does make some sense. But that's it. That is the Friday live stream. Quick and easy, lemon squeezy. Actually, wait, no. Do we have more questions? Crap, we did. Hi, my name's Corey. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't mean to be dark or bring negative energy, but I just want to thank you and Anna for being a distraction. I love nothing more than being a Minnesota sports fan. I love this community. Unfortunately, I don't really fit into the world, and I've struggled with trauma and impulsive behavior. I'm a pretty bad person who would hurt my family. However, I took 30,000 milligrams of aspirin in hopes that it will be forgiven. May not be lethal, but it could be skull for life. What? I do not know how to respond to this. I hope that he is good. I hope that he's okay, but Jesus Christ. Man. Hopefully he shit. What do we do? Um, Diego said, as of like someone like, can we report him? Can we get like a welfare check on something? Hopefully he chimes back in. Diego said, as a Vikings fan, I'm a supporter of Nate Stanley. I believe he is the number 2 quarterback behind Kirk. I could see him being a transcendent version of Big Ben in the future. Thoughts? In prime Big Ben, that's a pretty high bar. That's a multiple Super Bowl winner. Went to 3 Super Bowls. I mean, Stanley, he's got a big arm. Not great mobility. Not great accuracy. But other than that, he's just really, really good. And also, there was a really big drop-off between 2018 when he had Hawkinson and Fant in 2019. So, I don't know. But, man, yeah, it's a not great way to end the day, but we'll do what we can here. Hopefully he's good. But yeah, Jeromes, happy Friday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday, 11 a.m. Central Time, and enjoy yourself. Skull production value.